completely ill prepared.
Yeah, a little bit.
Last minute live.
Oh, are we doing it live?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
look
what
at
I was
that.
setting up a second ago
Oh,
when we were in there watching Bake Squad.
Pig Squad.
My child loves that show.
Yeah, she seems to like her cooking shows.
Yeah. A little anything sort of cooking, baking competition. She's all about it. So
Nice.
that's cool. It's either baking shows or it's Bluey. So.
Bluey's surprisingly funny. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
For a kid, for a
it's a
for a kids TV show,
it's a good show.
it's wholesome. You know, but
Don't have Netflix trying to indoctrinate my child in some capacity.
yeah.
She can just enjoy being a child watching a silly child show.
Yep. Best way to be.
Yep. So, but regardless, that's neither here nor there because right here, right now, is THP number 193. This is our June one-on-one.
It's our first episode in June. We've been
Yeah, this is the first
slacking.
episode we've done for like almost a month.
3 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
So yeah, just been busy. Go. I had to flake out last week. Week before that, you did corn stars. I think a week before that we recorded. I cannot remember.
Last episode was with Brent.
Yes. I think that was 3 weeks ago today, but I cannot remember. It's been a very long 3 weeks.
You've been busy.
Yeah, kind of been all over the place, but it's been good. Had a lot of fun.
What's not all over the place?
What?
Blackboxcages.com.
No, they're not.
Check them out. Facebook, Instagram, blackboxcages.com. Use code THN at checkout. Save yourself some money. Whether you need a rack, whether you need a cage, Black Box. It's all the rage.
They have tons of options, guys. Literally anything that you can imagine or want in a cage, they offer it pretty much already assembled. If they can't ship it to you assembled, they give you all the things necessary to assemble it. It's very easy.
Surprisingly easy.
Yes.
Because again, when I had to build the Aki cage, I was like, somehow or another, I'm going to find a way to screw this up. Even though all the pilot holes and stuff are there and like it's pre-drilled, ready to go, I usually find some way or another to absolutely screw it up. And I did not. And it all fit together so seamlessly. There wasn't like off edges, like everything lined up flawlessly.
That was one problem that I had with my last caging company. I bought 2 3-foot racks from them, which shipped assembled, and they were great, really good cages. I still use them right now until everything gets switched to black box. But the flat packs I got, because I have 2 4-foot cages from them that shipped as a flat pack that I had to build. And it's not that they were hard to build, but they were not nearly as smooth and put together as the old one, as the ones that shipped assembled. Granted, it was no fault of mine,
Right.
It was just things didn't fit as nicely and all around. But it definitely does not seem to be the case with Black Box whatsoever. Pretty much everybody I've talked to that's built them has been extremely happy with the quality still.
As they should be.
Yes.
As they should be.
So definitely go check them out. They'll have anything that you want, anything you can imagine. Fastest shipping time in the game right now, too. So check them out.
Yes. And then go check out Steve Snaketuary and his Venom Hot Sauce. Hunt him down on Facebook and Instagram as well. Head over to stevesnaketuary.com. Get yourself some Venom Hot Sauce. The whole lineup. They're all good. You won't regret it. Even if you're not into hot sauces, it's still a cool sort of collectible type deal. That's just neat. If you like to have, I don't know, how people collect books?
Yeah.
There's people that collect just general reptile related stuff. And if this is like, hey, you're one of those people and you don't do hot sauce, then this should fit right there amongst the other memorabilia that you have.
Yeah. They're
So
really
go
cool.
check that out. And if you get those hot sauces, you are helping Steve do public outreach, relocations, rehabilitations. He takes in unwanted, pets, taking in all kinds of stuff. He's taking in a little bit of everything. He had a buttermilk eraser lace
Oh, dude, that was so cool.
a clutch. I don't know if any of them were good, but
yeah, I don't know, but still,
those
cool.
things are cool.
Oh man, those things are so
Buttermilks
freaking
are
cool,
sweet.
man. Yeah, they're sweet. Yeah, definitely check out Steve. He's a first responder. He's doing a lot of good for the community and the world. So definitely check him out.
That's right. And then Fulvius Apparel,
Of course.
fulviusapparel.com. I just set up to be able to ship and sell to the good folks in Canada. So if you're Canadian, you should be able to go and buy Fulvius Apparel. FulviusApparel.com, Facebook, Instagram. Still have some designs that people have been buying, like they bought them before I had this website set up and stuff. I haven't gotten all the sort of the original designs up yet. Still working on it. Work's been absolutely crazy. I got this Tokay shirt. This is the first one of these I've done. To see how it looked. It says everything's gonna be Tokay.
Looks good though. I like the Tokay design.
Yeah. I'm happy with it.
You should try doing some that are just like bigger images of just the animal, too. Some people, you could hit a different market with that. Some people don't like as much words.
They don't like the puns.
Yeah,
they don't like the dad jokes.
Some people wouldn't, man.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
Like who? Name me one person.
Me.
You.
Yeah, I am
that's right.
One person. I'm at least one person, but I know others would feel the same. That's only with certain things, though.
Like what?
I don't know. Just I'm not a big word guy. Sometimes it's okay, but that's just me.
Words are hard.
Words are hard. Yeah, pretty much.
What's new?
Kind of a lot. Yeah, there's been a lot of moving parts as of recently. Frankly, a lot of new projects are in and completed. So it's really exciting.
Don't sound so excited about it.
I'm tired, man. It's been a really long couple weeks.
Month.
Yeah, it's been but it's been good. So basically it started not last weekend, not the weekend before, but the weekend before that. That's when all this stuff started. So between then, Montrose came down the weekend of Memorial Day. And I traded him a pair of carpets for some Glades County Everglades rats, a pair of amels, and a pair of Posset amels, which that's kind of new project number one. Super cool. Super excited. I've been wanting the amels for a while, so I'm super thankful to have the opportunity to work with those now. Then have a nice group of Possets too. They're just such incredible animals. And then proceed long week of just doing other stuff after that. Me and Montrose went herping a lot, but weather was
rough,
terrible. It was in the 50s most of the time. I think there was one day I got up there Saturday or one of the days, I don't remember. I think it was Sunday, got up to the mid 60s, but still really no luck herping. We managed to find, I think, all in total, we found some cool frogs. First day he was here, we found two really pretty ribbon snakes when it was like 59 degrees out. That was cool. It was literally raining. So that was cool. Those were really pretty. And then we found a red belly snake, a Steraria species. That was really cool.
Occipital maculata.
Yeah.
I feel like if there's anything you're going to see when the weather's really crappy like that, it's going to be it's either going to be garters or ribbons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ribbons always, I've really noticed they come with the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I road cruise while it's raining, there's one day I found legit like 10, 15 ribbon snakes.
Still, man, I've never seen one.
I can't believe
it's so
that.
strange. Yeah, because you find them all the time. But
Maybe
don't
they're
know.
just more abundant in northern side. You know.
Yeah,
Who knows?
I mean, I haven't even seen DORs here.
Yeah.
Um,
Could be one of those things.
man, the more I think about that kind of stuff and
I think
all
there's
the
more stuff separated than we think around here.
DORs that I don't see,
Right.
like I've been contemplating talking to Tony about some sort of herpetological survey just of Ladies Island.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious. Like, I've never seen DOR rattlesnakes of any species.
You've never seen canebrakes out here?
Nope. Not
Like
even a sign of pygmies.
So you've never like seen canebrakes at all anywhere, like alive
Not out
or
here.
dead?
No.
Damn.
Nope. Copperheads, no problem.
Coral snakes, obviously.
Coral snakes. I don't think I've actually seen any cottonmouths out here. I have a hard time believing those wouldn't be around somewhere, but yeah, I have a list on my phone of everything that I can recall coming across at least once. And I don't know. I'm super curious. I don't know what all would be involved as far as like a survey and sort of the amount of space you have to, like, what constitutes a legitimate survey versus.
I think it would be hard to
just
do
wondering, but
out here.
I don't know. Because also, I mean, you think about it, like a solid chunk of the island is developed. Then as you get out sort of towards my end of it, there's not nearly as much going on development wise. So I don't know. We'll see. But
yeah,
I just thought that'd be interesting. That's something I've thought about. You know, there's some species that I see all the time. You know, legless lizards, and for some reason garters have been pretty prevalent.
and see, that's one thing on the road that I cruise. I've found garters elsewhere, I think, but like I've never seen garters on the road that I cruise. I couldn't tell you why. I've never cruised one before. I don't think I've even found one. Well, no, I take that back. I found one at my WMA. But that was up the road a good ways. Never seen one on the road that I frequent. So
yeah,
just kind of weird. I think certain areas are just more prevalent than others for certain species. Yeah, and I think the island being, you know, an island, I would almost think that there's some stuff that is not.
Yeah, that's like
not
extirpated.
Here.
Yep.
Yeah,
I thought the same thing. But I've seen people post pictures of eastern diamondbacks.
Oh yeah, those are out here somewhere.
I still have never come across one, and that's
doubt
the
you ever
thing
will.
That's crazy. Is like being out here 20 years. You would think at some point I would have seen a DOR somewhere.
I don't know, man. I think when it comes to the Diamondbacks, they're so low in numbers and a very small area.
Yeah.
You know, that it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Maybe.
Yeah. Just they've kind of held up in areas that aren't going to get developed and have very little foot traffic. You know, I think they'll be more prevalent in like St. Helena and obviously going to Hunting Island and stuff.
For sure.
But
the irony is some of the pictures that I've seen that people have seen them are actually over as you come onto the island in the more developed area, which is odd because you would think it would be the opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, silver lining DORs suck, but they're also
an
indicator of
things. Yeah.
At least these are out here. You know, something exists. At least one less than it did before. So I don't know. I'm curious. I don't even know as far as like general wildlife is something I need to definitely ask Tony. You know, do they even do surveys in places like Ladies Island? That's, you know, I don't think there's anything that's uber protected or anything here that I can think of. Maybe some birds that I'm just completely unaware of, but
yeah.
You know, I guess if it doesn't really serve much of a purpose, they're probably not going to do one. I would imagine.
No,
I would still be interesting to take inventory, sort of how things are doing overall. You know.
Yeah.
But he is also in agreement with me that the number of black racers definitely, I think, hinders a lot of.
The
reason you don't see a lot of other species.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, fully agree.
But
yeah, so. Chris was here. That was great. We found some really good spots. He left the Monday of Memorial Day. Had to bust out a lot of cleaning throughout the week. Fast forward to the weekend after that, Matthew Palmer from Herp Talk Radio was down. Had a great time with him. I actually had to watch my parents' camper while they were out of town, or I had to watch my mom's cats for. So I was staying out there, and they've got a bunch of land, so it gave us a spot to let Matthew and his little family throw a campsite. So that worked out really well. Had a great time with Matthew. Stayed up all night, basically one night, and I forgot how hard it was to do that when you're in your as you
it
get
only
older.
gets worse, man. Because I'm like at a point now where
Yeah.
I'm like, I hate it because Daytona rolls around,
Oh,
and usually
dude.
by like 12, 1 a.m., I'm like done.
Yeah.
I used to be able to stay up till 4, no problem.
Oh yeah,
But
dude.
now it's like, oh.
Yeah, we were just staying up late. I think it was Friday night. Yeah, Friday night we stayed up super late, and we were planning. I was going to take him road cruising first thing in the morning, and it got to like 2 o'clock, and I'm like, man, we really need to go to bed. Yeah, we're just up drinking beer, having a good time, and then I was like, dude, if I sleep for 3 hours, I'm not gonna wake up, so
The solution?
stay up all night.
Just don't sleep.
Yeah, don't sleep, So what we did was, because we went inside for a minute, and it started to hit me really bad, and I was kind of starting to lay on the bed a little bit. Matthew was like, come on, man, we gotta go, don't fall asleep. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do it. He's like, come on, get up, we're going now. I was like, dude, it's 3 a.m. We're not gonna find literally anything. I was like, there's nothing to be. He's like, I don't care, man, we gotta go now. I was like, okay.
Bitch, I just came here from South Dakota.
Yeah.
We're going looking.
I'm like, all right. So I woke myself up, got in the truck, we started driving. I drove for like an hour. We found a DOR gator that Matthew was very sad about. He did. I've never seen a grown man look so sad before, but I felt bad, I was like, damn, man, like you just really wanted to see a gator.
Like the kid who got socks on his 5th birthday.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, referencing your Snakes and Stogies episode with him, I was not like, what do you want? I'll put you on it. That's not how that went at all. For the record, I literally I was curious what he wanted to see, and he was like, dude, literally anything. And he's like, alligators. I was like, there's 2 things I can 100% guarantee you. It's alligators and armadillos. Nothing else.
Hello, strange dog. Oh. Someone's dog just came running in the garage.
Dude, if that thing would have came in here, I'd have freaked out, dude. I'm not scared. Like, I'm not scared of a lot of things, but dogs are one of them. I don't fuck with dogs at all. But yeah, I told him, I was like, yeah, the only thing I'm going to guarantee at all this weekend is alligators, armadillos, squirrels. Yes, I was like, those are the 2 things I 100% guarantee. I was like, anything is up in the air.
The biggest roaches you'll ever see.
It's like, we'll probably find a copperhead.
Yeah. You're good. No problem.
Got dogs in the backyard. But yeah, so we found while we were.
I don't even know who that was.
What?
I don't know who that was. It's a neighbor. They know me. I don't know the name.
Yeah, they know your name.
I don't recognize the voice.
But yeah.
So. Well, I find the funniest part about that whole thing is you finally listened to a Snakes and Stogies episode.
I was like, yeah, now I need to go back through all these and see how much shit they talk about me, man. Like, y'all just, I was like, damn, man, they making me sound like a straight douchebag up on this thing, dude. Like, it's like, I'm not that freaking douchey, am I? Jeez.
You want to see a cottonmouth, man? I'll put you on a cottonmouth.
That's not how that conversation went at all. I was like, if there's a snake that we're probably going to find, it's a copperhead. I didn't promise nothing. All right. I'm lucky if I find shit. It's all about, let alone putting somebody else on it.
Talk shit about Jake's show. My favorite shows.
Exactly. Skyler, that fucker. Yeah. I feel like that's pretty much my life now with all you assholes.
Meep, meep, meep.
I'm about to have a throwdown up in here. But yeah, that's just I've come to terms with it at this point. Y'all just talk mad shit about me and whatever.
Yeah, we had to make sure
Just
you were
live with it.
listening, like Matt said.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I was. And I will be from now on.
Oh, okay.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. But yeah, we ended up having a good time.
Gotta ask my own damn
didn't
co-host what he thought of the show
what happened?
because he don't ever listen to it.
Who, me?
Yeah, I just stay up every night going, is this gonna be the Tuesday night that Jake texts me and says, "Good job, buddy," and it never comes.
Y'all record on Mondays for one, and I work my second job Monday through Tuesday or Monday through Wednesday, so I can't get on the live show.
I did. You don't have to be on the live show.
Yeah, but I will listen to it,
It's
and
there
I didn't
after the
say good
fact.
job. I said fuck you.
Oh, okay.
That's how that went.
Fair enough.
You was an asshole. Both all y'all.
All y'all.
Trashing your boy. But whatever. It's fine. I only cried a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, overall we had a great time. Didn't find anything that day besides alligators and armadillos. I think I passed out around 4:00, 4:30.
Yeah, and then you disappeared off the face of the earth. You were in a freaking coma for like 12 hours.
What?
Wasn't that the day that I was over there when you were showing him around the room?
Yeah, that was the next day. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. Well, no, that was that morning.
That was the next
that was
day.
that
as
morning.
In, like,
yeah. Yeah.
I was
running off like an hour and a half of sleep when I was showing y'all the collection.
Yeah.
That was the hour and a half I got from like 4 to 5:36 ish. I woke up, Matt was driving. We were just like on the highway. And I'm like, where are we? What is happening? What is going on? And Matt was like, I don't know, dude. We're somewhere. Like, I was trying to go to a gas station. I was like, the closest gas station where we were was like not close. It's like, Matt, where the hell are we? And I figured that out. And then I took over driving. I took him to my WMA, and then he passed out for like an hour and a half. I woke his ass up to see some alligators. He was real confused when he woke up. So that was fun. Yeah. So all we saw gators was there, and then the next night, you bitched out, didn't want to go road cruising, and then the night after that, we found some copperheads and some ribbon snakes. So that was fun. We had a great time. Hopefully, we'll see Matt back down this way here soon. And then more snake stuff the weekend after. Me and Preston Converse drove down and hung out with Skylar for the weekend. Met up in Jacksonville, and then me and Preston drove down to Sky's place.
What did you do in Jacksonville?
I met Preston.
Oh.
So met up with Preston in Jacksonville, and he rode with me down because it only takes us like 2.5 hours to get to Jacksonville. So that was cool. Got to talk to him, get to know him a bit more, which was fun. We had a great time. Got to Skies, and the madness began. It was constant road cruising, constant hiking, and literally sun up to sundown every day. We got there Friday.
Maniacs.
All day, Saturday, Sunday morning, and left Sunday afternoon. But it was good. We found quite a few snakes, a couple rat snakes, a couple ribbon snakes, a corn snake.
That corn was nice.
Dude, it was.
The rat snake was nice. That yellow
yeah,
rat.
Yeah.
One of the. How many yellow rats did you guys find?
We found
at least 2, right?
At least 2. Yeah, we found 2.
Those were nice.
Yeah, the big one is with me now. She finished off my Hernando County project, so that's cool. Then yeah, so that was cool. Ended up taking some other. Skylar gave me and Preston a few things to come home with, and so now I had 2 males. I ended up buying a female Hernando County from somebody else who happened to have one. So now I've got 2.2 Hernando counties. And then we ended up, DOR yellow and DOR corn too. That's right. We did find it. I thought we found another yellow, and yeah, it was a DOR. We were all sad about that. Real sad. And that baby corn, because that corn was tiny, dude. The Dior corn was like a hatchling. You know, it was not. It was not big at all.
Damn.
So that sucked. Um, but yeah, overall, we found some cool stuff. The pygmy was awesome. We were all geeking out about the pygmy.
How did you spot that? Because I remember watching the video and being like, "How the hell did you even see that?"
Dude, it was just right place, right time, man. You know, I was walking. We were in grass up to our, shins to knee height. But it was kind of sparse, like it wasn't super full. And I was just walking, eyes on the ground, and a pattern caught my eye going in, like in the grass, going up under a bush, and I immediately knew it was a pygmy. And the boys came over, and we got it out of the bush, and that was just like I said, that was all luck, man. Sky says eagle eyes, but that was just right place, right time. That's all herping is. So that was super cool. We got some awesome videos and pictures of her. We think she was gravid. She was real thick on the back end. So that was super cool. Got to see the green swamp, which was awesome.
What the hell's that?
That was cool. I was exploring all through it, and then I got to water, and I was like, "Well, I guess that's where that ends." We saw a big old hog too while we were out there. That was cool. I was a little scared. So that was cool. And then probably one of the coolest things that happened is we pulled over on the side of the road, and we were standing on, a concrete basin that had like a pipe going into it and going under the road for drainage purposes, and Preston spotted it first. He's like, dude, he comes up the sky and he's pointing, and I see an otter kind of flopping around in the water up there. Like, oh man, it's so cool. So we sat there and watched it, and this thing ended up turning around and swam right towards us and it swam under the pipe that we were standing over. We saw this thing go right under us, dude. It was right there. It was so cool. So that was just one of those things that, again, right place, right time. If you weren't right there at that exact moment, you never would have seen that. And that was so cool for the three of us to witness. And then me and Preston on the way back found just massive soft shell turtle on the side of the road, dude. It was like right there. And Preston was like, turn around, things gonna get whacked, because it was like right on the side of the road. So I whipped around and pulled up to it in the grass. And dude, I'm talking, this thing was like, it was huge. And so we managed to help that thing across the road. Luckily, another guy stopped on the other side and was like, yeah, I was turning around to come get that thing, And so we got that off. That was super cool. Yeah, overall, finished off the Hernando County project for yellows. And I also got a pair of Citrus County yellow rats, one that came from Sky. And then me and Preston went in on a trio. He took a pair from the guy, I took a female from the guy. So we each have a pair now. That brings me up to a kind of a ridiculous amount of yellow rat snake locales, but I'm not complaining about it.
Didn't even sneak
nope.
Skylar's chondro to me.
Nah, that thing is insane though, man. Oh god, that thing is so nice. So yeah, that was a great time. And then amongst all of this going and doing, before I went to Skylar's, right after Matthew left, I got super sick. Like I got food poisoning or something.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was dead to the world, dude. I went to work at my second job Monday night, and I started to feel kind of bad, and I ended up like throwing up all over the place outside, and that was
probably a long drive home, wasn't it?
Oh, dude, it was so bad, and I managed. Luckily, we weren't super busy, so I told Ty, I was like, dude, I gotta go. And luckily, the other server was like, yeah, I can handle it. So that was good. I went home and ended up running a fever and threw up some more, and I won't go into other details. But I got super sick, and then that Tuesday, my yellow rat. Well, that Monday, I found my Pasco County yellow rat. Laying eggs Monday evening. So I was like, hell yeah, super stoked about that. She came to me gravid. So I let her do her thing, left her there. Monday night ended up getting super sick. So I was like, yep, I'm not dealing with this now. Let her sit on them overnight. And I gave her a big, tub filled with peat moss, like it's like an actual dirt. Made a post about it the other day. Um, Worked super well, a lot more naturalistic than the moss. And she was really able to pack the dirt into there, which was super cool. It's kind of hard to dig them out, trying to be careful, but that was cool. Um, so Tuesday morning, I popped a bunch of ibuprofen and I felt okay for long enough to pull the eggs out. She laid 16 eggs. I could not believe it. Every single one has veins.
Well, that makes
No
sense because
duds.
she wasn't a small snake. I
No,
remember when she came in,
yeah, she's not a tiny animal.
she wasn't a little yellow. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
no. So she laid a massive clutch. So that was awesome. 16 eggs from her, and then I've already got 14 that have been cooking from my gray rat. So now I've got 30 baby rat snakes on the way, which I'm super jazzed about. I'm curious if some of the yellows are going to go the distance. There's one egg that's like a lot smaller than the others. It still has vein development. Still looks okay. So we'll see. That might just be a small baby, or it might be normal. I don't know. Gotta wait. But every single one has veins. They're slightly different shape from the grays, which I thought was weird. All the grays are kind of uniform across the board. Some of these are a little bit more oblong. Some of them are more circular, and then there's that one really tiny one. So that was just an interesting observation. So yeah, bunch of new rat snakes, clutch on the ground.
Nothing from the
Lots
pines.
of herping. Nothing from the pines.
You don't think? Are you kind of at the point now where you've sort of written them off as anything happening this year?
I'm still gonna pair them up. I think I'm gonna keep doing it off and on. I'm kind of giving them a break from each other for now. I thought the fork line was gonna go, and nothing ever happened with her. I actually saw locks from them, so I was really confident. All the timing was right, but she never dropped. She's still eating. So I don't really know what's going to go on with them. As far as the albino pines, I never saw anything. They're both doing the thing. So yeah. I'm going to put them back together, see if, I can't, if they don't, maybe they want to breed a little later in the season. So I'm going to try for probably another month or so, just kind of putting them together off and on and seeing what happens. If they don't, it's fine. I wasn't expecting 30 baby rat snakes this year. So
kind of works out.
Yeah, I'll have plenty to keep my hands full for a while. So we'll see. Oh, and then I also got in a really cool pine project that I'm super stoked about. Me and Chris Paintshab went in on a pair of Polk County Southern Pines, Polk County, Florida. Southern pine snakes. These are really, really cool animals. The female is an absolute monster. She's every bit of 6.5 foot or so, maybe bigger. I don't know, but she's huge. And then the male is a lot smaller, a lot younger, and he's a little spitfire dude. He's an insane animal. So both are in quarantine. Both have eaten for me now. Both have shed. They actually shed. They were both in shed when I got them, and so they've shed out, eaten, just doing the thing. Everything's in quarantine. Had to set up a new quarantine space for the stuff I got in this weekend because I didn't want them to mix, and I needed more space anyway. So now I have a quarantine rack in my kitchen.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I think that's everything. I think. Yeah, everything's doing good. Everything's eating. Eggs on the ground. Super excited to hatch some baby snakes, man. I'm so eager to get back on the saddle with that. But yeah, also listening to a lot of podcasts now. I know everybody will shout on me for a long time about not listening to podcasts, and yeah. So I do that now pretty much. That's all I've been listening to the last couple weeks is podcasts, getting up and things. I'm just really hyped and on fire for the hobby right now. So I'm just trying to get everything I can. I don't know why. I think it's all these new projects that have come that I'm super stoked about, and it's just got me really high on the hobby right now. So just excited to be doing this and be a part of it. So, and yes, Michael, if we get some pines next year, we'll definitely talk. Most definitely. Got to produce them first though, because apparently
Yeah.
that's a challenge for me. So we'll see though.
Well,
What about you?
it's been a week. Work's been
Yeah.
absolutely slammed. Um, we didn't record Thursday because my grandmother passed away. So
Yeah.
kind of worked out that you were busy and doing your thing, and that happened. So I've had a lot of family in town, been hanging out with everybody. We had the funeral yesterday, so I was out of work for a day, which that's nothing major, but it definitely is a setback because we were short a printer and stuff. Waiting for some parts to come in, so I came in early today and got caught up on a good bit of stuff, but it's just been chaos. So staying real busy. A lot of stuff to catch up on here, with Fulvius stuff and the website, and there's things. I have a list of stuff I have to still do that I just haven't gotten around to. Uh, you know, Got to keep up with the rodents and stuff. Thanks, Randy. She, she had a really good, life. She was 81. Um,
It's about how old my grandma was when she passed.
yeah, and it was, it's definitely sad, but at the
It
same
sucks,
time, she
man.
had her family was everyone was there,
Yeah.
so um, I don't know, like it's definitely sad, but it was one of those things where I kind of was sort of at peace with it, I guess.
Yeah.
She was kind of deteriorating health wise over the last year or two, and I think it's probably better that it happened the way it did rather than it continue to get drawn out and her get worse and worse and need round the clock care and stuff like that. So she went out peacefully and wasn't in any pain or anything like that. Just kind of faded,
Yeah.
and my mom and aunts and stuff were there with her. So couldn't ask for much more than that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Definitely sorry for your loss, buddy. But
but it's been yeah, it's been crazy, man. Just a lot going on. Rhino Rat had her prelay shed over the weekend,
very good.
so anxiously waiting for that. I've only seen her in the lay box like once. I keep thinking she's gonna eyeball that pothos and say, "I'm not using that lay box. This looks better."
Dude, you should try the peat moss, man. You really should.
What makes it better?
Because it's dirt. That's what I mean. I don't know how rhinos do it. Maybe I could be completely wrong with it not being as good for the rhinos. But for the rat snakes, I mean, that's what they lay them. They lay their eggs on the ground, they bury them, and it gives them a much more naturalistic, thing. And I found that like a dark, again, I got a lot of this from Chris, but I've noticed ever since I started doing it with my stuff, is like they live in those things, something dark with the peat moss. And when she was gravid, the first day I put it in there, while after her prelay shed, she lived in that thing, did not leave, and she buried. Literally, dude, she was compacting the dirt over the eggs. It was like the coolest thing. She made a perfect layer of, it's just peat moss, so it's basically dirt. It looks like dirt.
Right.
But she just like made a perfectly smooth spot over the eggs and had them buried at the bottom of the tub. Ever since using it and actually like feeling it, it's like it's just a much more natural substrate for them to lay eggs in. She give it a try. It's super cheap. The bag got like a
you get a
freaking
massive
50-pound bag for cheap, dude. It was nothing. So I'm gonna start incorporating that into a lot of stuff. I think I'm gonna make a bedding out of it for display cages. You should give it a try, man. Those rhinos might like it. I mean, maybe not now since she's
I don't.
already,
Yeah, I mean,
she's already
we're
halfway
kind of
there.
past the point this year
Yeah.
of doing anything, but spag, good spag isn't cheap, so
Yeah, no, it is. It
it's
is
probably
absolutely
just
not.
as messy as peat is, because if you're dealing with dry spag, it's like dusty and little
Yeah.
particles go everywhere. And,
Yeah, and I just deal with the peat outside, because I'm going to start using bigger buckets. So I just take my bag outside, and what I'm actually going to do is fill up a big tub, whole thing in there, and just have access to the tub and scoop as much out as I need.
What size tub did you use for her?
For the rat snake.
Yeah.
For the inside of it, I used one of those. The tubs they started selling at Lowe's. It's like a 15 quart. It's got a yellow just lid that clips on the top of it.
Yeah, I have one of
Yeah, I
those
think
in
you
the
have one. The
in the
Aki
Aki
cage.
cage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's that. I
yeah.
used one of those. I melted a hole just in the side of it, kind of up high, so I could have a deep layer in there. And dude, I mean, even after laying the eggs, I took it out, cleaned it really well, and filled it back up with that moss. And she lives in that thing, man. Probably because she's in quarantine, which is in my bedroom. It's a clear tub. I am going to also start changing my quarantine setups. So, yeah.
Matt said Peggy had mold issues with turtle eggs when she used peat.
Oh, really?
Which is kind of surprising because if I'm not mistaken, peat's supposed to be more acidic than most other mediums. If I'm not,
it might be mistaken. One of those like don't get it too wet things. Maybe if you get it,
I can't
too
imagine
wet,
it takes a lot to really.
Yeah,
like you don't need to add a lot of water to get it.
No, because I did mine. I filled up this thing. I mean, there was that deep of this stuff, and I took my my faucet and sprayed it down, and it sat on top really well. Like I was like, oh man, maybe that was too much.
Like Eco Earth, like the cocoa stuff. Yeah.
And so I mixed it all up in there. Then I was like, oh, this is barely wet now that I've really mixed it in there. Yeah. So I took it and sprayed it down a little bit more, a little less than the time before, mixed it in. And I was like, it wasn't wet. Like I couldn't really squeeze water out of it, but it was almost clumping really well. So I was like, all right, for a lay box, this will be fine. Dude, next day I opened that thing and it's just condensation all the way up the sides, over the top, So I'm like, all right, well, that was more than plenty of water. So I haven't had any issues. I will pay attention to the mold thing. See if I have that issue.
I would probably, like, if I were going to do it, I'd probably mix in just maybe 10% sand.
Yeah.
Just because that sand helps a lot with sort of drainage a little bit.
Right.
That's what I would do whenever I used, Eco Earth or whatever you want to call it, but the cocoa bedding, not the cube stuff, but the powdery stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If I mixed in sand with it a little bit, it drained a lot better. Like when you sprayed it down, like when I use it for scorpions and stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of that water sitting on top and taking a couple minutes to really seep through, if you mix some sand in there, it definitely helps it absorb that water faster.
So. Yeah. I think what I'm going to do for like cage setups is I'm going to get a big layer of that peat moss in a cage, and then I'm going to mix in a little bit of sand into it, just kind of emulate sandy soils around here in Florida. And then I'm going to use the mini bark that you can get at Lowe's. I'm going to put a layer of that over the top and kind of mix it down a little bit, have a bark layer on it. And then I think that's what I'm going to rock with for like a more naturalistic thing. And while I was in Florida, I got some massive longleaf pine cones, dude. They're still in my truck. They're legit like that big.
Really?
They're like the size of a football, dude. They're some of the biggest I've ever seen. So I filled my back up with a bunch of those. I'm gonna put those with in the cages. So I'm pretty stoked. A lot of things are gonna be changing soon.
It's good.
So
yeah, I'm hoping this rhino clutch is good.
Yeah.
So far she's
looking
great. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Definitely grabbing.
I don't think it's going to be a big clutch. But
she's not a huge animal, is she?
No. And I mean, I think she'll be fine for her, it being her first year, but I fed her pretty heavily going in. She'd get a rat pup or two, a rat pink, I guess, rather.
Yeah.
Regularly until she sort of went into that shed cycle, and then I cut her off. But I think it'll be good. I got to figure out where I'm going to put them in the incubator. I need to actually get my Govee and put it on So here's my concern about incubating in my room. It's not the temperatures. It's not the temperature swing from day to night, with the cool down and stuff. It is entirely the concern that if I have them up somewhere high, my dumbass will find some way to drop that container when I'm pulling it off the shelf or something stupid. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, you know what? It's probably better that I use an incubator because at least there, it's stable temperatures and I don't have to touch the box.
Well, do they incubate as high in temperatures as regular corn snakes, rat snakes, things like that?
Yeah,
you have
nothing special there.
They don't have to be incubated any lower.
I mean, you could,
right?
I think you can always go lower. It's when you start getting higher and higher that it gets to be an issue.
Right? Yeah. No.
Yeah, dude. That's my biggest concern. Is I know that it's going to get down to the last, 2 weeks or so. I'm going to be checking regularly, and I'll pull something off that top shelf, and I'm like an idiot. I'm going to drop it, and and it's just,
oh man, you use two hands.
So paranoid.
Not that. Is that really the only reason you're not doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, man. Nah, I've got mine. It's not super high up. I mean, it's my first box sits pretty much at eye level height for me. But what I did is I opened my closet door, so because I have the fan on high at all times for good air circulation, and so I leave the closet door open, and I have them just stacked up on a shelf in there, and I have 2 boxes. They're just up in the shelf, and it stays about 70, anywhere from 77 to 79.
Well, then I thought about
try to keep it around 77.
Well, what if I just put them somewhere lower? Where all the
put them on the floor.
No, what? That's just as bad as being up high because then I'm gonna
kick them.
I got huge ass feet, man. I'm gonna somehow kick those things across the room by accident,
dude,
or something stupid.
You know what you need to do is clean out a little spot on your rack, your table thing with the shelf underneath.
I'm just too paranoid that something's gonna get bumped. I don't know, man. That's why the incubator works. It's like a safe.
I mean, yeah. If the
it's there already, it can't go anywhere else really.
If you don't have anything else in the incubator, yeah, you may as well.
So but like I said,
nothing's changed,
I'll put them lower. I'll put them sort of where I have all the smaller corn stacked right now. I'll set it in front of there, and then I don't have to even touch it. I can just look at it and check on it. But then the issue was when I have to clean and water, I'll have to move stuff, or I'll try to pick up some tubs and pull them over them and somehow catch that tub. I'm telling you, man,
you're thinking this through hardcore.
I know. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, you know what?
Dude,
if I had a designated space that I didn't have to worry about any of that stuff, where I could check on it without having to touch the tubs, I don't trust myself. I don't know.
Yeah, if you have an incubator and they can be incubated at what else is in there and you have space, just throw them in there. But thing. Be all right in there.
And it has the glass doors, which I've always liked because I can see through it. I can just shine a flashlight through there. I don't have to open it unless I really want to.
That's why my sea serpent's incubator, I can just lean down, click a little flitch, and light comes on. I still got that carpet python egg incubating, but
how's that looking?
It's not growing anything off it yet.
That's good.
But the whole egg is brown, pretty much, and so I don't know. It hasn't started denting or anything, and it's not folding in on itself from mold. So I don't know.
The Jansen egg is rocking strong.
Still going strong. Man, you got a while for that thing now. I heard y'all talking the other day about on Snakes and Stogies about how long.
So usually when I put stuff in an egg box, I write the day they were laid, And then usually I'll go on my calendar and I'll count roughly however many, like a given basically. So like the first corn clutch is supposed to hatch, like it's the time frame for the, that 60 something ish days is like the beginning of July, like early July. I think the second is kind of what I mapped it out as. Since these are at a lower temperature than sort of what I typically do, it may take a couple days longer, but basically I write that date on there of when I can start paying attention, start really looking and checking regularly. And so anytime I have, I put them in the egg box right when they were laid, and then I write sort of a tentative date, and the date for that Jansenii egg is like early September.
Jesus.
It was laid, I'm only like a month and a half. So it's got some more time. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, that's a long time, man.
It's a long time for things to go wrong.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
That's the
thing.
problem, yeah.
There's a lot of time there for something to happen.
Man, that would be so cool, though. If that thing goes the distance. Dude. Oh, God, man. That'd be so awesome.
Not even going to post about it.
Yeah.
Just going to have it.
That's
like, what happened to that chance? And I'd be like, it died.
That's a lie.
Didn't make it.
That's the bold-faced lie. That thing's going to be in a reel before it's out of the egg.
I don't. I think once I get it to the point to where, if I can get it to the point to where it's hatching and it's survived and it's made it out of the egg, then I'm like, okay, cool. Because they're not, from what I've been told, they're not difficult to get going. That's not the issue. It's getting them to get out of the damn egg alive.
So are you gonna plan on cutting it just to help it out, or are you gonna see if
I don't know? That's the tough part too, because I was talking to, I think when we had Jared on, because he was talking about his oxy eggs, and he was saying he cut his, but he was concerned that he cut his too early.
Yeah.
And because there's so much time on the incubation of those,
you're right.
My concern is cutting it too early. But then if I continue to wait and it can't get out, then it, you keep waiting for it to happen, and then it ends up just dying because it can't get out. It's really, that's kind of
the average is 120 days. Is that the average?
120 to 145. I should probably look.
I mean, if you're incubating on the higher end, then I would think, maybe around day 130, go ahead and give that bitch a little snippy.
I'm really not into cutting eggs unless I feel like I absolutely have to.
I don't cut anything. That's like, can't get out. But again, in that scenario, especially if they've been eating rodents, I think it was when y'all were talking to Billy, he said something about, snakes that eat a mostly bird diet in the wild, having a rodent diet can make a lot harder eggs. I think y'all were talking about that, being on more of a rodent diet can all the fattiness in there and the.
Let's see. For Freitas wrote, he's hatched 3 clutches of Jansenii eggs, which hatched in a range from 125 to 145 days. So,
I mean, hey, you could always cut around if you want to. If you're going to, I would say wait till like 130, 135, especially if you're on the higher end of incubation temps.
Yeah.
And just see,
Yeah.
You never know.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited for you, man.
I really need to get like a golf tee or something put in there because, so how that incubator has that shelf and it has that cross section on the shelves.
Yeah.
And so if you have a box sitting on it, it's either canted slightly forward or canted slightly backward.
Yeah.
It's canted slightly forward, and that egg is more towards the front of that box. So my concern is that one day I'm going to go in there to check on it.
So paranoid.
One day I'm going to go in there and check on it, and I'm going to close the door too hard, and it's going to cause the whole thing to shake a little bit, and that egg is just going to roll slightly to the front. So I need to get something in front of that thing just to make sure.
I used a toothpick for the carpet egg.
I've tried that and it just like got moldy and sort of just fell apart.
Yeah, I mean
But
it is moldy. I'm not gonna lie. It got moldy
need to
because
find a.
the eggs
I
moldy.
think I've seen
but-
Matt Most use like plastic straws or
yeah, plastic
something.
straws would work fine.
Probably use a pen cap. I'm looking at
pen
pens
cap.
right there.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but so I'm not paranoid. Okay,
You're a little paranoid.
I'd
You're a
rather
little paranoid.
take the 30 seconds to put something in front of that egg to keep it from rolling than to keep putting it off and be like, nah, I'm good. And then that happened and be like, if I had only taken the 30 seconds to put the damn stop
Then
right in
do
front of
it,
that
man.
egg,
You've
you
been
know,
talking
it's
about
just
it.
such a to come this far and then to ruin it for
Why
because of
don't-
something so
then,
stupid like
you
that.
should do that.
I'm
like
gonna.
tonight, tomorrow. Excuse me. Give her a go, man. Any other clutches on the ground though since the last
Nope, just
3 weeks,
the
month?
2 corn clutches and the Baird's clutch. Rhinos on their way, hopefully, and
Yeah.
the lone baby Jansen I soon to be, I hope.
Yes. That's cool, man.
That egg is big. Baby's gonna be big.
Yeah. That's one thing I'm paranoid about with the rat snakes. I'm already trying to like come up with a plan of action. So I went back on Colubrid and Colubroid radio and I listened to their hatchling episode. It was just Zach and Matt talking, and I was taking mental notes on, how Matt approached a lot of his baby, colubrids.
In what way?
So I think what I'm gonna do,
Like in terms of getting them started,
it's like feeding, setting them up, everything. Like they kind of went over the whole, spiel about it. So I was kind of trying to come up with how I was gonna do it. I think I'm gonna split everything up in groups of three or four, and keep them cohabbed. On Aspen, give them lots of hides, bigger water dish. And I think what I'm going to do, if there's room in there, I'm going to get small delis. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cup them all for the first feeding. You'll put them in a deli with a lid and then put them in the tub, because it's still natural smells in there for them. Hopefully make them feel more comfortable, also in a darker space. So I think that's how I'm going to approach it. If there's, I don't know if there's going to be room for 3 delis in one of my setups or not. So they may get split up a little bit.
What are you going to put are you talking about putting them in a rack?
Yeah, I'm going to put them in the black box rack. I don't know if
I think you could get 3 delis in like a 35, no problem.
Probably a 35. I think I was going to cohab them all in a V18, the size down from that.
Mm-hmm.
And there might be a room for 3 delis if I took everything out of there. So we'll see. I don't know. That was Matt's suggestion for, kind of the whole brown bagging it, the first feeding. I'm not going to actually, bread bag it or anything. But I am going to try and cup them, first feeding, and see how that goes, biggest decision right now is deciding if I want to house them all separately right off the gate, or if I want to house them together. But again, listening to their episode, and I have seen it too, like baby snakes sometimes will congregate, kind of right out of the egg. So I'm thinking about leaving them in 3s and 4s, and trying that method. I've also talked to Chris extensively on his feeding, trial methods. So kind of just trying to come up with a game plan. I think I'm gonna do the cut method first, and then see how it goes from there.
I don't know, man. Like I understand why people would house them in groups to start, especially if you're dealing with a lot of babies. Like it makes sense. It's a little more ergonomical. But for me, like I do them all separate just because I would like to be able to sort of keep track of who's rocking and rolling, who's not.
Yeah, and I am
being able to sex them and then be able to separate them and know who's who.
I am really considering that, just housing them all alone in V15s as well. Kind of that smallest tub. And then if I do that, I'm just gonna try drop feeding. I'm gonna put the mouse on a little plate in the enclosure, kind of show it to them, drop it, close it up, and go from there. So I'm down.
That's why I like those Dollar Tree tubs so much, because it's until you sort of get that figured out in terms of what's going to stay and can go into a rack, or what's, sort of going to be up for sale and
Right.
probably there temporarily. Those McCormick tubs are a great size. They have more than enough space to grow.
Yeah.
So they can hold on to them for a while. They're not going to outgrow them quickly.
Yeah.
And they're just, they're not very deep, but if you've got, a couple hides in there and enough substrate, then they seem to be more than content.
Oh yeah.
In them.
No.
And those snap-on lids, they're Smitty proof. It's
yeah.
Once those things are on, man, they're on. I can go to sleep.
You can sleep peacefully.
I can sleep peacefully knowing
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have little worms getting out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of up in the air on it. I should have enough space in the black box for enough V18s, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, all right, there's potentially 30 babies. I'm like, that's 30 tubs of 30 V18s. So now I'm like sitting here trying to think it's 6 per row. So it'd be 6, 12, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. So it's five levels of V18s would be baby space. So I'm like, shit, that's
a lot.
That's a lot. I think I've got plenty of that. Most of my XR16 is empty. So it'll just be a matter of getting up all the V18s and getting them in there.
Explain to me what the draw is to the tubs with the cup holder in them.
So I've never used them. Well, that's a lie. I did in a older rack that I had back in like 2017.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. And it was fine. The reason why Smitty is asking me that is I recently ordered some Freedom Breeder tubs that are identical to the tubs I'm using in my black box, the biggest one, the V35S, identical shape or identical size, shape, whatever, except these have a cup holder. Normally I wouldn't like them, or I haven't used them because I always prefer being able to put my water bowl where I want, because I'm weird. Like I always put my water bowls in the left corner. That's just what I do for every single tub. They go in the left corner. But my pits, especially ones that are getting on the slightly bigger side, they are moving their water dishes to the center of the enclosure and just dumping bedding in them. Like they push everything to the backside and all of it goes into the water. And it's the most annoying thing ever.
Now it can be in a fixed position and ready and reinforced for them to be able to do it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm trying to see. But I think the thing is they're coming to the front and they're pushing the tub back, or they're pushing the cup back, which is pushing it up on, it's building up the bedding and then the bedding pours into it. I'm hoping these being a little bit more centerized in the enclosure, a little taller, they're not going to push. I'm hoping it'll help.
I think you're
I'm
dreaming,
not saying
buddy.
It will. I am. I'm shooting big here.
Pines are going to say, "Fuck that cup holder."
But it's worth a shot. Plus the way I do waters now, I use the delis that go in there, and I take one out, throw a new one in, fill it up with water, throw that one or disinfect it, throw it in the dishwasher. Like that's kind of how I do it now.
I can't.
And so it's going to work well for what I do. It's just a matter of how the snakes treat it. I don't know if they're going to push a lot of bedding into it. I don't really know how it's going to work, but that's the goal.
I hate not being able to put a water bowl where I want.
But I don't mind these because I always put the water, like I said, I always put the water dish to the left in the corner. These being more centerized, I kind of like it, especially since I'm running ambient. I feel like it being centerized is going to kind of help with some overall humidity versus to all the way to one side. And again, them not being able to move it is big for me. So we'll see.
I don't know, man.
I could be completely full of shit, and this is going to be an even worse idea.
I guess I can understand the convenience of it if you're dealing with a ton of snakes and it's like in the same place every time and you can just quick change stuff. But I don't know, like I feel like it would just get in the way for me. It would just drive me crazy. It's like now if I have like a larger box for a hide, you know, because I use a lot of snack boxes and stuff. Because when you have a 10-year-old, you typically stockpile a lot of those. If I have like a longer hide, you know, I now can't exactly put it in there way I want to.
Sure, you can.
And it's just, I like a blank canvas.
For me, it's just like, you know, even the longer ones, there's room to fit it down the side. You can fit it across the back, down the other side, down the front. You know, for me, this is like, you know, especially now, because I actually recently I went to TJ Maxx in Bluffton, and I was looking for tubs.
You're a Maxinista now?
Yeah, I was looking for tubs, right? Because Mr. Claiborne told me to go there for tubs if I ever needed to look. So I drove over there, and I hit the jackpot on these perfect little plastic containers for hides. Like they were literally some of them, the smallest ones were like,
is it like the ones you got from Dollar Tree, like the little organizer?
kind of, yeah, but these are a little bit flimsier. You know, you can come with just scissors. It's super easy. They were super cheap. The little smallest ones were $2 for a pack of 4, so they're 50 cents each.
Yeah.
And they had a 3-pack of the neck size down, also $2, or neck size up, which was also $2, and then a 2-pack of the biggest ones that were also $2. So $1 a piece for these, you know, good size hides, plenty for, you know, a decent sized rat snake. Maybe not a big one like Rico, but
Rico.
So I bought a ton of those. They fit really well in the racks. And the snakes, I've been using the shit out of them, except the pines because they hate my life. They love their humid hides too.
They're not humid hides.
Yeah, they're not humid hides. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I'll let you know how the tubs work. I think they're going to work pretty good, and they're actually pretty cheap. They weren't expensive at all. So if it works well, I'm probably going to eventually start working over there for everything to have a little cup holder, just because I use the same size cup for everything. And then the little V15s, the really skinny ones, they also make ones with cup holders for those that hold like the 2-ounce, 2.5-ounce deli cups. So yeah, we'll see. I'm going to give it a go. I ordered 6 of the V35S replacement ones, just for basically all the pines that are giving, or all the Pituophis that are giving me troubles, because my bull snakes are doing the same thing. So yeah, ordered 6 of them just to give it a go and see how it works.
I like my cardboard, man. I like that I can just chuck it.
You know? Yeah.
I go through a lot of paper towels, so I have a lot of paper towel tubes.
I definitely still save those. I just started going through them a lot more, and I started running out. Especially, I don't go through nearly as many paper towels, since I don't wipe out my cups anymore. You know, since I'm just dumping out the water, throwing it to the side, and putting a new one in there. I'm not using as many paper towels. I'm not wiping all the tubs out. You know, I spray them with the Zep, and then stack them up, and then they go into the dishwasher. So not going through as many, so I was running out of them a lot quicker, and now I don't have any. So I was like, maybe I should get a plastic hide. So I still keep all of those. I'm still going to use those for like secondary hides and stuff, but yeah,
I've been taking the like paper towel tubes, and I'll like smash them so that they're sort of flat, and put them in there, and the corn seem to really like that a lot.
Another thing that I did with the paper towel tubes for like the little stuff, like my baby hogs and your little corns, I would smash them down flat and then cut them in half, and it makes like a flat roll. Like a little
tin.
And dude, they love those things, man.
Yeah, I've done that with some of
those things.
Toothpaste boxes, because those are some of my favorite hides. Toothpaste boxes. They're nice and deep.
The Janai you gave me from Chris lives in his toothpaste box.
Dude, they love them, man, because especially if you get like the bigger size tube, those boxes are nice and long. And the Bairds and stuff, especially, I've noticed, Bairds in particular, love to get in there and go to the back and just really curl up. They don't get a ton of bedding in them, which is nice, because I can usually just take some food and drop it right in the mouth of that, and then, you know, they'll eat it. You know, toothpaste boxes, they're worth their weight in gold. I love those things.
Dude, you know, for my smaller stuff, the best box I found is these little vape boxes. When I used to vape a lot, and I would buy disposable vapes, and they came in these little boxes that are, like yay big, and dude, I've had a stack of them from when I had, was vaping. And so I started putting them in smaller rat sack enclosures. Man, those things live in there. It's like, man. But
Those in the the like theater candy box type, like Sour Patch Kids that come in
yeah,
the
yeah.
box. Those are great too. They love those because they're just compact. They like the tightness of them.
Michael for the Zep.
It's just the disinfectant one,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
just the disinfectant. They have several different kinds. They have like floor stripper and window cleaner and all that. We just use it's just the generic or I think it just says disinfectant on it. If you message me, I'll send you a picture of the big bottle that I have. We buy the big bottles of
Yeah, it just says
pre-mixed Zep.
antibacterial disinfectant
Yeah.
on the label.
Yeah. So we buy that. I'm thinking about going back to using, what was that other stuff that we used to use?
F10?
Not F10. Chlorhexidine.
Oh.
Thinking about going back to that. Just buying the concentrate, but I don't know. I think it might be cheaper just to use the concentrate in the Zep, because that big jug of Zep, I fill up my spray bottle in maybe 3-4 times.
I don't know, man. A gallon lasts me, at least a month and a half.
It lasts a while, and it lasts me even longer,
it.
especially now because I don't spray out my
Mm-hmm.
dishes a ton. I give them a little squirt and keep her moving. Sometimes I don't.
It
even
is
do
probably
that,
a good idea to sort of ping pong, like periodically switch up your disinfectants.
Right.
Just because, like, you're supposed to technically switch up your toothpaste pretty regularly too.
I didn't know that.
Because the bacteria in your mouth sort of get used to
Yeah.
particular type, and then if you change it up, it kind of helps. They get some like resistance basically to the whatever you're using. So it is probably wise to periodically switch it up. And
Yeah.
I've thought about figuring out a way to make my own like wipes with the Zep, like roll up some paper towels, get an old container, like Clorox container or something, and then roll up paper towels to fill it up, and then soak that, like leave those soaked, so I can just pull them and use them as needed.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
F10's awesome. It is expensive. I used F10 when I was doing the geckos. Man, I used that stuff for years. Loved it. Little bottle would last me a while, because
that stuff is super concentrated.
I'd do like a gallon jug. I'd get a couple gallons out of a single bottle. But it got sort of hard to come by.
Yeah, it's hard to find.
And then the price got jacked up pretty nice.
Like, I'm really bad about buying stuff like online. I'd much rather go to a store and just be able to grab it and go. Normally, because I wait for the last minute to get everything. And I know Tractor Supply sells chlorhexidine. So I'm thinking about switching back to that for a while and seeing how I like it. Because sometimes, like I said, because I put all my cups in the dishwasher now, sometimes I'll spray it, and even after I run through the dishwasher, there's still kind of a residue on there. That's the only thing I've noticed with Zep is I feel like it leaves a film.
It's much more. It's definitely.
And that's
basic.
Yeah, like there's like a
slick.
It's slick. So what I've done is like I'll spray something down, wipe it off, and then I'll hit it with water and wipe it again, and that normally takes care of it. But again, that's kind of just an extra step in the whole thing. So thinking about going back to chlorhexidine for a while and saying I like that.
That's why I like Zep, because
I just don't like mixing stuff. Zep's easy.
Zep's easy to get a hold of.
Prepped.
I think for like a gallon of it, it's like $12 now, so it's nothing crazy.
I thought it was more expensive than that.
Chlorhexidine is, I think, like $10 for a gallon.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get more out of the chlorhexidine.
Yeah, because chlorhexidine, it's a concentrate. It's a mix.
But,
so a little cheaper, lasts a little longer, and I mean it's vet grade. A lot of vet offices use it. So I don't know. Just been stuff. My brain's just my mind's been all over the place of how to make things like better and flow better. And like I said, getting a new quarantine set up. I'm about to change how I do quarantine now too. It's just as far as setups and stuff. I'm gonna start using.
How so?
I'm gonna start using dark tubs.
Okay.
Like a blackout tub. Everything I was using before are clears. And even now, the majority of stuff that's I have like one, two, two. I have like 9 snakes in quarantine right now.
See, I would rather
and
find like the Ziploc gasket tubs and paint the outside of those black or cover them with paper or something, and then still have the clear lid, like the translucent lid.
yeah,
I don't know about you, man. I'm super weird about photo period and making sure that my animals like
I am
see
too.
daylight on a
That
regular basis.
that's why I'm specifying for quarantine that I want
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
this, and I only do that for the simple fact that like I said, right now I have snakes in my kitchen and in my bedroom. I don't like having snakes in my bedroom, quarantine snakes in my bedroom, but I don't really have a choice right now. But I bought a new rack to go in the kitchen. The rack is big, it's nice. And then I got this was per recommendation from Preston. The oh god, what are they called? The Craftsman tubs that Lowe's sells now. They're these big black
The
tubs
black ones
with
with the
red
yellow
lids.
lids.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
the red
red
lids.
lids.
Yep.
Yeah. And the lids are really tight. They're really thick. They're not flimsy at
Mhm.
all. They don't sell super small tubs though. I think their smallest one is like a 5-gallon or something.
Mhm.
So I got like 3 different sizes while I was there. They work really well. And I'm thinking for quarantine, especially for wild caught stuff, it's going to help a lot because there's a lot more movement in the kitchen and in my bedroom than there is in the snake room.
Yeah.
Obviously, I go in the snake room almost daily, or I do go in there daily. But unless I'm cleaning in there for a long time, a lot of times just checks, quick stuff. And it's just me in my bedroom and kitchen. There's multiple people moving around, pretty much always. So I think it'll be good just for stress and acclimation purposes until they get into the main snake room. So I think that's something I'm going to do. I'm going to take the metal rack out and then put the black, because I got the same rack, the same brand of rack that the tubs are. It's just like that big plastic rack that they have.
Yeah.
I got one of those. Not cheap, but it'll be good. It gives me a lot of quarantine space. So that's probably going to end up in the bedroom with the tubs, and then get different sizes needed. I do have one of the animals in a clear because it was so small. Like I didn't know it was going to be that small before I bought the tubs, because I bought the tubs and I got the snake and I was like, oh god, thing's really freaking tiny. So that one's in one of the little just push down with the blue lid ones we have. I've got her in there, but I've got her kind of tucked behind in the corner, just to get blocked by the bigger black tub.
Yeah. I mean, we get so many grocery bags and stuff from grocery shopping each week that I don't know, if it were me, I'd just tape the sides of it and have the clear lid. Like I said, that's personal preference.
Yeah. No,
That's
yeah.
why I don't like the racks that have blacked out tubs, with the ones that are opaque.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude, your animals need a photo period. A couple little like holes they get in the top, with that weird board stuff that people use to hang stuff on, like tools and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's not a whole lot of light.
And that's what sucks about the rack, the newest rack where we still have to pick up from Black Box. I got their ARS rack. It's the ARS 55 series. It's a great tub. It's going to be a great upgrade for a lot of the pits that need to come up. But ARS sucks. It's either the gray tubs, which are already expensive, but the clears are literally $10 more per tub. And I can only buy in lots of 8. I need 12, but I have to buy 16. Yeah. I have to buy 16 of them.
That's not a bad thing though, because then if you got to do like a quick change on something.
Yeah, no, having a few extra isn't bad, but when they're $10 more per tub, that's 160 extra dollars I have to spend when I'm already spending 300 to get all the tubs and ship. So that 300 turns to almost 500 really quick, and I'm like, golly, dude. So I'm having a real hard time like deciding what to do. I talked to a couple people, and they're like, yeah, just get the gray tubs. it'll help them stay less freaked out. But I really don't want to.
Yeah.
I really don't, because I'm the same way. I like the photo period, even though it's a rack and it goes back into an enclosed rack. It's still dark, but
There's still a
yeah,
light
you
cycle.
still get a light cycle in the front. So I don't know, man. I'm having a real hard time with that. I've been going back and forth on it for a while because that's a lot of money. Yeah, it's already a lot of money, which I'm okay spending, but another almost $200 just for clears. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
man.
because I looked at that too at one point, and then I went and looked at the price of those tubs, and I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah, I did the math, and the XR or the 55 rack that I got with the tubs, even with buying the tubs, is still cheaper than two V70s, and I was kind of looking for a good kind of in between rack. Because a lot of pits are probably going to end up in cages. I may end up skipping a lot of V70 stuff.
Yeah.
So, which that's another thing I'm thinking of, for a lot of these big pits. And this is why I like talking to Chris, because Chris just like, he makes me feel dumb sometimes, but it's also like, oh yeah, it's a simple solution, because I'm sitting here like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do for these pits. A lot of them don't do well in cages, blah, 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 blah. And I was showing Chris on them. I have them V70s right now. I was like, dude, you need to upgrade these things. I was like, I know, I need to get a FB90 rack or something. He's like, why don't you put them in a cage? I'm like, because number one, I think the albino pines will be fine, but the fork lines are gonna freak out in a cage.
I don't know.
With
I mean,
the
there's
open
not that
front
much going on in there.
yeah, not a lot going on, but I'm afraid of them whacking the front. But then he just goes, just cover the front. I was like, what? He goes, just put newspaper over the front, paper, something, put it over the front. They'll
Even
be
if
fine.
it's just over like half of it.
Yeah. And I was like, well, shit. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So now I'm gonna work on getting a bunch of cages for all the bigger pits. They're gonna go into 4x2 by 18s. Gonna deck them out, make them all naturalistic. And if they freak out, I'm just gonna cover the front.
I mean, that's what I would do if I was gonna get
Yeah,
imported adult Jansenite tomorrow or even Oxys.
right.
They'd definitely be going in like a cage setup.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Just cover the front glass,
and
man.
Cover the front, at least front, like half at least. So if it's like the 2-door setup, kind of
Right.
like the XT4s that I have now, I'd cover at least half of
Yeah.
that with paper.
Yeah.
And then if I had to cover both, that's fine too, because you can still like lift it up and check whatever
Yeah.
you need to do. But
Or just open the cage.
that's why I wish, like, how we have all these cameras and stuff now. I wish that they'd make something small that you can put in like a corner or something.
Yeah.
And then be able to watch and see what they're doing.
Those Govies are pretty small, aren't they?
Yeah, but those don't have cameras in them.
Oh, I thought you had Govies that were cameras.
No, that's the Wise.
Yeah.
Wise
the Wise, yeah.
And those are
you could
pretty
always
small.
Find something like a way to mount it
Mm-hmm.
up top in the corner or something, like.
Just be hard without. It would get destroyed. They can't even keep the damn heat panel plug intact. I don't think it stands a chance.
Probably not. But yeah, so that's gonna be the new plan for pine snakes going forward. Bigger cages, bigger setups with shelves, and more naturalistic. I'm really gonna move towards doing a lot more naturalistic stuff. I'm really need to go to Black Box and get the rest of these animals out, dude. I don't know. Whenever I'm free now. I'm free till August when we go to Daytona. So whenever you want to go, just tell me and we'll figure out a day trip. But really eager to get those. Really need to get the tubs for that rack. And then I really need to get these last 6 animals out so I can ditch a couple racks, get some new standalone like Baker's rack style stuff.
I gotta pee.
Yeah.
What's the dilute percentage on the chlorhexidine?
So the dilute percentage on the chlorhexidine, I have not used it in a while, to be honest with you, and I cannot remember the dilution. I can't remember the exact numbers. It wasn't a lot, and a lot of people just eyeball it. I'm weird. I didn't really like eyeballing. I'm a numbers guy, so I need an exact amount. But some people are like, a baby blue. A baby blue color is enough. Me, I think in the bottom of a regular size Zep, it was like, I don't even know, like that much of the bottom whenever. I don't remember the exact numbers. I know you can find it. I believe Reptile Basics sells chlorhexidine. I think on their actual website you can go down and find the dilution that they recommend. But essentially, like I said, if you're gonna eyeball it, you're looking for like kind of a light blue color. And it's also one of those things. It's not chlorhexidine isn't really strong, so if you made it a little heavier, it's not going to be really a problem. Again, obviously you don't want it sitting in the enclosure while the snake's in there, so you want to make sure to wipe it off clean, make sure everything's dry, you can't smell it, that type of thing. But yeah, I can't really remember the exact numbers for it. So, but it's a good product. I'm probably going to go back to it. I used it for a long time, a couple years. I kind of switched. I was using F10 for a while, then I was using chlorhexidine. And now I've been using Zep for the last little while because that's what, Justin started using and I kind of liked it, but I'm kind of starting to not like it. What is that? Oh, cool. Stickers. So I can't remember the exact. Do you remember the exact number for the dilution?
Chlorhexidine?
I can't remember. I think
really
it's on the
just
Reptile
eyeballed
Basics.
it.
That's what I was saying. Like some people just eyeball it.
There's a certain shade of blue.
Yeah, it's like a light blue color that you want to go for.
I usually kind of probably went for a slightly stronger.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, if you go heavier, it's not a bad thing by any means. So it's good stuff.
It does its job. You're not going to show those bad boys off.
Oh.
Look at that. Look at those stickers. Show and tell. Show and tell. Show and tell.
Justin just gave me some Fulvius.
I did. I got some stickers in. Damn, color's all blown out because you're so pale and white.
Shut up. There you go. Fulvius Apparel. Boom.
Yeah.
Dude, magic trick.
Shout out to Vinyl Disorder.
Vinyl Disorder.
Yeah.
Nice.
Stickers are expensive, but if you look around hard enough, man, there's some companies like Sticker Mule's nice and all. I like what they like. Their stickers are nice. They're good quality and stuff. But if you look around, man, there's a couple companies that beat them pretty hard on price. So Vinyl Disorder almost always has some sort of special going on too, which is nice. So just a pro tip.
Nice. Yeah, I've been kind of wanting to do stickers, but I don't know. It's one thing that I never really cared about as much. I never really understood the whole sticker craze. I got a bunch and I covered a water bottle with them, but I never know what to do with them. Besides just put them on stuff. I guess that's literally what they're for. I'm more of a car sticker kind of guy, like I like car decals a lot more than I like just stickers. Then I started getting water bottles, but it was cool because I had a water bottle that's like covered in everybody's different stickers. I'm like, all right, awesome. Then I'm like, wait, now I can't put this thing in the dishwasher and my arm's too big to get down in it. So I had to get one of those.
Damn it. I got to wash them by hand like a normal person.
Yeah. I'm lazy, man. I let the dishwasher work for me, baby. I love that thing. Yeah. So
my most prized possession.
Yeah, my dishwasher. Hey, you know what you're missing until you don't have one. I lived in a place that didn't have a dishwasher, and it sucked.
Had to wash them by hand.
Yeah,
Are you like a
peasant?
Fucking pilgrim?
Yeah, it sucked. Nah, but
I got the Atheris book is coming to me finally.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So shout out to my buddy JD. He's in Texas. He's South African. Just moved to Texas from Canada. And he went out to Ham.
Wait, did you say he's South African?
Yeah. He went out to Ham.
To Texas.
He moved to Canada. He lived in Canada and then he just moved to Texas within the last year. But he went out to Germany. He went to Ham. He went to the show there. And he's like, I got 2 copies of this book. He's like, if you want one, it's yours. Then you don't have to pay as much for shipping and stuff. They're both signed copies. So he mailed that. That's supposed to be coming here in the next week or so. I'm pretty stoked about that because that's a book that's been on the list since it came out. And I knew it was going to be one of those cases where by the time I remember to actually grab a copy, it would probably be like $500 because it's no longer in print. So pretty excited about that. I think I was talking to Phil about it earlier. It's like I think that warrants another book club episode.
Yeah.
Snakes and Stogies.
Yeah, man, that's one thing I'm looking forward to because I'm on the verge of cutting back a lot of hours on my second job, just because of time, and
Because
it's getting really hard.
I don't want to be there anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only that. Like, I like the job's not bad. I work with my best friend. Everybody there's cool and all, but dude, just the time crunch of Monday through Wednesday, right after work, I go there. Thursdays, I come here. Fridays, I need at least some time to chill, but I have to do snakes on Fridays. I do snakes all day Saturday. I feed for several hours on Sunday, and then it's just all over again. So it'd be nice to be able to get the cleaning out a little earlier, have 2 extra days to work on that. And then spending time with more people and having more time to just do things.
Man, reading is one of those ones that
and that's
always,
one thing. Like, I want to get into reading more, man.
I always
like,
want to read more, but I just by
I
the
don't
time
have
I get in
time.
bed, as soon as I crack that book open, I don't know what it is. I have this. It's like this Pavlovian thing where it's like as soon as I crack open a book, man, I start yawning, and I'm dropping it on my face after like 5 or 10 minutes, and then I take forever to actually finish them. Even if it's a small book, it'll take me like 6 months to actually get through it and finish it because I'll go in these phases where I'll read every night for 3 weeks, whatever, and then I won't touch it again for a month,
right?
And then I'll pick it up again for 3.
Yeah,
I'm really bad about that.
I have a thing when I read, and it made because it's been like this my whole life. I have to really get in a book and zone in to that book to really absorb it.
Yeah.
Because when I'm reading, I catch myself thinking about a million other things while I'm reading, and I'm like, but I'm still reading it. Yeah. And I'm like, I pause and I'm like, I don't know what the last 2 sentences were about.
Yeah.
So I have to go back, reread, and before I know it, I'm doing it again, and
yeah, that's like,
so
I'm jealous.
It's difficult, man.
Katie has the ability to read anywhere, no matter what's going on.
Yeah,
doesn't matter how much noise or people are around me. It's got to be quiet. I got to have my phone away from me or turned off.
It has to be perfectly quiet out.
I can't. I can't.
Noise.
I don't know how she does it. She'll be reading at the, she takes Ellie to the park or something, kids screaming and stuff, and she's just reading. And I'm like, I don't know how you do that, man. I can't.
I can't do that at all.
And maybe it's because, I read nonfiction strictly. I'm not big into fiction. I read so much of that in middle school and stuff because we had to, that I was kind of
same.
Got my fill, I'm good. I think maybe it's because that stuff, the books they're more technical in terms of, and frankly, more dry.
Right.
I think maybe that's part of the reason why is it just requires a little bit more focus and attention.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing I'm trying to take up. I'm trying to do better. Like I said, I'm really on fire for just the hobby right now. I'm super jazzed about everything going on. All the field herping we've been able to do this year. As far as going places has been awesome. Mm-hmm. That's really kicked things into gear a lot, and just I'm just super excited about everything right now, and that's why I really started listening to podcasts again. I can't get enough now. It was weird. I was like, yeah, I liked music too much. That's what I filled my ears with when I was driving and all that. But now it's like I started listening to a couple. There's a couple episodes of people I wanted to hear, and I was like, okay, I really enjoy listening to these. And
this is what
next thing I know, I'm going through just I'm listening to Venom Exchange Radio a lot and catching up on Snakes and Stogies, Colubrid and Colubroid. Now I'm still kind of skimming. I'm going through stuff that because there's so many of every podcast, I'm picking and choosing what's more apparent to me. I went back and listened to the Tony D episode of Corn Stars. I listened to Joe's episode. Excuse me. I listened to the last 2 Snakes and Stogies, going through all the Colubrid and Colubroid, and just trying to absorb as much as I can. So
I like audiobooks.
yeah, and that's
But
what I was gonna bring that up. You know, being able to listen because my roommate does that a lot.
the problem that I have with audiobooks and like Kindle versions of books is they cost the same as a regular physical copy,
Yeah.
which I understand
Then you have to have like
audiobooks
a special device to listen to it. And shit.
audiobooks require like production and narrators and those things cost money, like I get that. But the Kindle version I can't wrap my head around. It's why is
I
a
think
digital version the same price as a physical copy?
because they
It
got to make
makes
their
no sense.
money.
They still are.
That's all it comes down to, man.
Like after the first like 100 sales, costs are probably covered. So it's like what what?
Yeah.
I don't get it. And I mean, I'm not big on like the ebook thing anyways cuz I just audiobooks are fine. I don't mind those, but like I feel compelled to have a physical copy. Like I
Yeah.
have some books, like a couple of Corn Snake books and stuff on my phone, and I'll go to them to reference every now and then, but it's just not the same. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Maybe if you had like a tablet, that's one thing, but like on my phone, you know, the words are damn small. I'm getting old, my eyes are getting worse. I have to like pinch and zoom out, and it's just it's a pain. I like having a
Yeah.
physical book.
if I could listen to a book, that would be
Mhm.
helpful. But feel like your margins are a lot smaller. I highly doubt people are putting out audiobooks of our reptile books. At least
I
many of
really
them.
haven't looked.
Yeah, I highly doubt there's a lot of them.
If they are, it's probably like the biography stuff.
I would find benefit in that a lot because I drive at work like
Mm-hmm.
all day. You know, that's what I do. I'm cleaning snakes all the time. If I could listen to a book, yeah, that would be great. But I think a lot of the books that I would want probably don't have an audio version. So I don't know.
And I guess like that's like Audible does the job of that because you pay I think like $15 a month and you can download like 2 books,
Right.
3 books a month. So I mean that like sure, you know.
Yeah.
You know, Tyson said each library has different selections of audiobooks. I've heard that too. I don't know exactly how the whole rental thing of that works, but
couldn't even tell you the last time I was in a library, if I'm being honest. Like
we used to take
kind of
Ellie
sad.
on a pretty regular basis. But
Dude, I'm talking. I probably haven't been to a library since like middle school. Like,
it shows
sad.
you a literate fuck.
Yeah, pretty much. I just don't have time. I don't have time, man. Like, it's bad. I don't have time to read anymore.
I've got a whole. The problem is I keep buying books, and then they sit on my shelf and collect dust for 5 years until I actually decide to pick it up and read it. I've got some that I got for my birthday like 4 years ago that I hadn't even touched.
Yeah,
not like reptile related stuff, but other books.
I feel bad that if Phil and I don't know if Phil and Billy listen to this at all, but Phil for the first Christmas giveaway thing we did in the group chat, the Secret Santa, the first one we did, Phil got me Snakes of Arizona or Rattlesnakes of Arizona book.
Oh, nice.
And dude, I want to read it so bad. And I've had it for years now. And I'm like, I haven't had time to sit down and read it. And then
you have
Billy,
the satisfaction of knowing that when you do want to, it's there.
Yeah, it's there. I'm definitely going to. Phil, if you listen to this, I am going to read that book eventually.
Because that's huge, right? That one's big.
I don't know. I don't know. It's not huge. I mean, it's a decent sized book. But I love rattlesnakes, man. I love rattlesnakes so much, and I'm really eager to break into that. And then Billy sent me a book last year for the Secret Santa. That was just like Snakes of the United States, I believe. That book. So I'm like, man, I really need to break into these things, and that's definitely on the agenda for when I can cut back some hours at the second job, just be able to sit down and, with a book and read.
tough.
Yeah. It's just time, man. I don't have a lot of free time now, I don't hardly ever get to go fishing anymore and hardly ever get to go herping. And when I do, I have to rush and clean early in the week, or you're doing corn stars, then I go herping. So like these trips, like being able to herp like the 3 weekends in a row, it was like, dude, it was come home, bust out as much as I could in the collection to get ready, for the weekend. And then, yeah, everything's just been all out of whack this week. Things are getting back on schedule, luckily.
Can we please plan our black box trip?
Yes.
It's got to happen.
You just tell me when you want to go, man. We'll go. I don't
Look
really
at the calendar.
I don't really want to make it an overnight trip. I'd rather leave
No.
early and come back same day if possible.
Okay.
We leave early enough.
I don't know what it's like. Also, it's just like that with going to shows like Columbia.
Yeah.
I feel like it takes us 2 hours to get there. I feel compelled to spend at least 2 hours there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because that's how it, like, anytime I'd have to drop off at FedEx on Hilton Head, it was like drive an hour, walk in for 30 seconds, and then turn around and drive an hour back. It was always like, that's why I'd make a stop at the cigar shop and stuff in Bluffton on my way out there. Because it's like, if I'm going to drive all the way out there, I'm at least going to do something.
Dude, speaking of that, so I had to go to the FedEx. These pine snakes, they weren't cheap snakes by any. I can get these things. I don't want them delivered to. By the way, Black Box is located in Budford, Georgia. Buford, whatever. Buford, something like that. But anyway, so I had to go. I got off work early. I took off half a day so I get there at a decent hour. I left kind of early because I had to make a stop. That was when I went to Target. It took me way longer at Target, and I went to Home Depot too. And it took me way longer at the stores than I expected.
God, just crossing 278 to get from one to the other is probably a nightmare.
So I dealt with that, and I finally got to the FedEx. It was right before 2:00. It was like maybe 1:45. And thank God I took my time, because I get up there, I walk up to the door, and the door's not open. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I look up, and there's a sign right there that says, due to understaffed, lobby is closed until 2:00. And there are people out the wazoo there waiting. And I was like, thank God I didn't get here at 1:00 when I was originally planning to be there. Because I would have been, I would have been waiting for an hour. And then I was like the third person in the door, because I hopped out and started waiting, and other people started getting out of the cars around 2:00. So luckily I was in the door pretty quick. There was some lady that took like 15 minutes in front of me. So I was like, well, this is great.
First world problems.
Yeah, right. So
it's better than the postal service, man. I'm going to go drop off some shirt orders last week. Fucked. And they usually open at 8:30. And so I'm standing there with like 2 other people, and then 3 other people come in behind us. 8:30 comes and goes, and it's like 10 minutes after. And the janitor dude opens the side door to come out, and he sees the line. He's like, oh. He's like, they don't even have a clerk today. It's like, no sign, no nothing. So I was like, okay, maybe he's going to go tell someone or something. So I stand there for another, 5 or 10 minutes, and once I realized no one was coming, I was like, okay, I'm just going to come back tomorrow. I told the people, I was like, I'm tapping out. I got to go. It's like no sign, no nothing,
Yeah.
Postal services, when it's good, it's good. But when it's bad, man, it's a train wreck.
Yeah. I could never have a job working at one of those places, man.
Have you ever been in the post office during like Christmas?
No, God, no.
You want to talk about people getting nasty, man? Like, there was a guy that worked at the post office downtown, and like anytime I had to go drop off something, it was like watching Jerry Springer. Someone would be giving him attitude because they had to wait or something, and I mean, like, I guess the postal workers don't really have to worry about getting fired because the level of no fucks this guy gave is pretty impressive. Like, people be giving him a hard time. He'd be like, "There's the door," like, and he, like, I know that guy had been there for, I don't know, I haven't seen him in a long time, so I'm assuming maybe he retired or something. But like,
was it a tall, like tan dude? Just didn't give a fuck about anything.
Yeah, I think not really like tall.
There's a guy.
From, like,
oh
New
wait,
York
was
or
this the
something.
downtown one?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. There was a guy in the Beaufort Post office where Publix is, and dude, that guy just didn't give a fuck. Come on, what do you want? What do you need? Come on, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Come, let's go, quick,
Yeah.
Dana, let's
They're
go.
like,
You know, and I'm
go.
like, oh, okay, oh, my bad, dude.
Crazy.
Like, what do you need? Okay, we're gonna do that. Blah. He's like, all right, $13.50. And I'm like,
Yep. And you have to deal with people. There are people being complaining about this.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, I gotta wait. And it's like, sorry,
it's like in the restaurant.
part of life, unfortunately. Like, just come back tomorrow because that important, or you could have scheduled a pickup. Like, you had other options. I don't know, but
dude,
those people, just the amount of stuff they have to deal with, you know, they're like bulletproof to the bullshit.
Dude, ever since I started working in the food industry, I've realized even more how just terrible some people are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had a lady ask me the other day if our she crab soup was really crabby. It had a lot of crab in it.
Because I don't like it to be too crabby.
She was like, "Is there like a fair amount of crab in it?" And I'm like, I don't fucking know.
I don't know, man.
Like, I
try it. You tell me.
So I like went back and I was like, Ty, some lady's asking about if our she crab soup has a fair amount of crab in it. He's like, there's a normal amount of crab in it. I don't know what to tell you. I was like, that's what I figured. But
it's probably buried under orders.
Yeah,
it's the
right.
last thing he wants to answer. Stupid question.
I'm like, dude, whatever. So she ordered it anyways, and I didn't get a complaint. So I guess it had enough crab in it, but not too much. Not too much.
I went somewhere not that long ago.
Fucking hate people, man.
Someone was being really nasty. It was I had to go pick up lunch at work, and we got Arby's, but their drive-thru was closed because I guess they were short-staffed. So I went inside, and like, people were in line being like really nasty to these people.
Yeah, man.
Like, I almost left them a tip just cuz.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, man. I was like, you think these people like not having a drive-thru open because now they got to deal with you, like, in person? I just, like, the manager managed to keep it together and, like, with these people, not completely lose a shit, because I don't know that I would have been that friendly, but I was just like, y'all suck, dude. I was like, this is messed up. Like, have you never had to work a service or retail job where you dealt with the general public? Because it's like, you have a pretty good amount of respect for the people that do,
dude.
you know?
It's dude. Like,
it's ridiculous.
Once you're in that work, because that's what I did. Like, growing up, I was always in some type of retail, whether it was, I worked at a little ice cream shop. I worked at a archery shop. I worked at PetSmart, and the only job that wasn't retail when I was growing up was when I was 14 and worked in a cabinet shop for my cousin. And even now, dude, like, I don't work in retail, but I still have to deal with the general public a lot, getting complaints about construction sites and all this. Like, this, the people, we had one guy that was like, this dude, the water from this dude's property is going to go into my ditch.
Oh,
I paid to have this ditch dug, and his water is going to go into there.
Wouldn't that technically be under county purview?
No, because apparently he had it dug on his property for him. Like, it was his ditch, and then he was complaining about somebody else's dam water,
so that it all catches right in front of his place where his ditch is.
Yeah. It's like, dude, that's what the ditch is for.
Yeah.
If anything is doing its job, like, because instead of his water going onto your property, it goes into your fucking ditch. But it's just, people just complain about the dumbest shit.
And the funny thing that what always just makes me laugh about that is, like, if that's what is upsetting you, you must have it pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like, if that's the worst thing about your week or your month, it's like,
yeah,
I'm almost jealous.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, man.
Christian just said people have totally forgot how to treat each other, dude. It's so true. You know, especially when you have places that are, and this isn't kind of is, but it's also not. You know, I'm not talking bad about anybody, but I deal with a lot of retired people. And a lot of retired people don't have hobbies to keep them busy. So everything else that's happening in their
So
community,
being the new neighborhood watch is it.
yeah,
Yep.
that's it.
Head
And
of
then
the HOA.
and then they have to report everything to the county, like it's our problem. They live on a state street, and I'm like, you're not even smart enough to know that we don't have jurisdiction there. Call DOT. Good luck. Like, you know, it's ridiculous, man. And you know, but that's what people just have whatever they want to complain about. It's the same thing in the restaurant. You know, I deal with a bunch of retired people who live in their own city. And
I don't know how my boss does it because my boss is also the mayor of Beaufort City.
Golly.
And like every day, people complaining about someone's chickens to him 2 doors down or something. And he's like, what do you want me to do about, like, just the goofiest stuff?
Yeah.
Like people having this weird conspiracy that like the cops are in cahoots with their neighbor who's like harassing them. Just like really goofy stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you couldn't pay me enough money to do that job. And to do it voluntarily.
Yeah.
Slightly concerned that you have to be like, I mean, I'm convinced if you want to be president or something, you've got to be like severely mentally ill.
Yeah, dude.
To want to be a politician in any capacity.
I hate the politics. I hate the politics for working for a small government.
I had a lady told me she was allergic to stir fry.
I had a lady one time at the restaurant. She comes in and she goes, I want something fizzy, but no caffeine. And I'm like,
seltzer water?
I was like, we have soda water or, you know,
Sprite?
Club soda.
Sprite doesn't have caffeine.
Yeah, I know. And that was the solution. She's like, no, I don't want that. And I was like, oh, we have Sprite. That's caffeine free. She's like, are you sure it's caffeine free? I'm allergic. I'm allergic to caffeine. And I was like, yeah, it's caffeine free.
I'm allergic
okay,
to bullshit. I need a Benadryl as long as you're now.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm like, you're the one that's allergic to caffeine. Why don't you come in here and tell me you want a freaking Sprite, lady? Like, why don't you know the sodas that are caffeine free if you're the one allergic to Sprite? What? I don't.
In The Office, when Will Ferrell tells everyone he's like allergic to peanuts, and then Michael throws like a peanut butter sandwich at him or something. They're like, oh my God, you could have killed him. And he's like, yeah, you realize how long I could have been itchy for? Like, doesn't even anything, not even anything serious.
Yeah. People are funny.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, snakes, reptiles.
Tyson said we used to live in Cape Coral. It's a popular retirement area. My wife once heard a group of old guys at a McDonald's talking about who was going where in town to look for ordinance violations.
Are you
Ordinance team assemble.
That is Beaufort County to a T, man.
Except they'd have a map out on the table at Waffle House.
Yeah.
With
somebody comes and is like, all right, boys.
Yeah.
Just rolls it out over the table. We get the weirdest.
You attack them from the north.
We get the weirdest complaints, man. Like, so the worst thing that happened to us. So we all went for a class to get certified in pond management. And there was a group from Beaufort, Coosaw Island. There's a group of guys from Coosaw Island that came to this class. Were like, yeah, we just want to make sure our ponds are looking healthy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude.
What constitutes a healthy pond?
There's a lot that goes into it. Don't get me wrong, but it's like all they're doing is to use that to be able to call us to be like, we know what we're talking about. We went to pond class. That pond's not clean. Guess what? You live in a private community. You have to pay to get that sucker cleaned out. And guess what? We're not going to do it.
That's
like
what the HOA is for.
Yeah,
buddy.
idiot. Like
you're paying into.
Oh my God, basis. Dude. Like, then we had them be like, oh, this silt fence is down. There's dirt everywhere. My inspector goes out there. He's like, dude, there's like one patch of silt fence down. There's no dirt anywhere. Like, I'm sorry, the one time you looked out your window, there was somebody tracking dirt out there. They clean it up every day. Like,
I went to Pond College. I know.
it's terrible, dude. Like, oh my god, I love working construction.
See, Chris Trippy said that's the good thing about New York people is they people mostly mind their business. It's like, yeah, when they're there, but then they come down here.
Yeah,
and
then
they're
they come
upset
down
because
here.
It's not exactly like New York, which
Yeah.
they just left because they didn't like it.
Yeah, it's boring, so they find
But they
stuff
come
to...
down here, and because it doesn't snow and the weather isn't exactly the way it should be, and
they just complain about being hot
there
all the
isn't
time.
an Aldi's within the immediate vicinity, it's a problem. That's what all the Ohio transplants here are about, man.
Oh my
like they come
God,
down here and
dude.
then they're upset and they want to make it exactly like Ohio, and it's like, you just left Ohio.
Yeah, dude.
Why do you want to? And what it is, the common denominator.
A lot of these people
they want
like
all the things they had in Ohio. They just don't want the Ohio weather.
And the thing is, like, people like that come down here, and a lot of them move into these private communities. And when they do that, they're part of the HOA and all this shit. And so, like, they think they own the community, and whatever they say goes. You know, like,
especially if you get them in a pack.
And it's like, dude, and it's funny because they always come to us. Like, we have jurisdiction in their community. We control what trees they come down, what trees come down, you know, what goes where, you know. But after that, you know, we don't have jurisdiction to fix their drainage. We have to protect it on these construction sites. That's what I do. Make sure everything's protected from runoff and all that. But like, as far as your lot getting flooded, that's not my problem. These people are building to spec based on their plans, and I'm sorry.
You should not move into a community that was built literally in a swamp.
Because now, like, people are building out. Like, we have so many construction sites right now, and so what happens is these lots, these houses that have been there for 10, 15 years, their water is always drained onto a neighboring property, and that neighboring property becomes a swamp. It's completely wet all the time.
Says, let's build a house here.
So somebody builds a house on it, and so now all that water has nowhere to go except into everybody else's yards, and they're like, "Oh, this construction, it's flooding my yard." Somebody bought that lot just like you did, just later in life. It's not their fault. It's not your fault. Talk to your community and get your drainage fixed. You know, because drainage isn't putting it onto somebody else's property. It's not how this works.
It's not that simple, because then you put a retention pond in or something, and then gators come in, and then people are upset when gators show up and other wildlife.
It's not even
they
that.
Blame that for the reason their dog gets eaten, because they're not watching their Pomeranian when they let it out to go take a leak.
It's not even that hard. It's as simple as either, you know, building a barrier between the two so the water hits a spot, and then grade it to where it comes down to the road, goes into the road, goes into a drain, to a pond. You know, it's not that fucking difficult. But it's not my jurisdiction to be like, you have to build this. Talk to your HOA. That is not my problem.
Dustin said he'll never live in an HOA. And neither will I. When we were house shopping,
I would never.
I told Katie, I was like, I don't really care where we live, but if there's an HOA, I'm not going to be moving in there.
No.
You can live there. I won't be living there. And now she's been like looking at other houses and stuff for some reason. Like, A, I'm not buying a house right now because it's crazy. And then B, there's an HOA, which I refuse. No. I refuse.
I won't do it, man. Never. Not
ever. Gonna
you're not going to tell me when to cut my grass. You're not going to tell me what I can put in my
and some
garage.
Jackass down the street who just happens to have had a bad experience with fucking gardenias 10 years ago and now has a bias against them, says you can't plant those in your front yard.
Yeah. I'm not about it.
Stupid. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm not about it, man.
They don't like the color blue. So if you plan to, if you want to paint your house
blue,
any shade of blue, you have to ask the prick that lives 10 doors down whether you're allowed to paint your house blue or not. It's like, if I want to paint my house fucking tiger stripe, I'm gonna fucking do it. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna, like, I can understand the premise of HOAs is a lot like unions. Like, at one point, sure, they served a purpose and they were great, and then a couple of gremlins got in there and weaponized it, and they've now used it for evil.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I can't plant a certain kind of bush,
Yeah.
or can't paint my house a certain color,
They
and
just
you're going to
have
measure my
all-
grass and tell me when my grass is too long. It's like, are you going to pay for someone to come and cut it because I don't have the time? No? Okay. Then it's going to get cut when it's going to get cut. Just crazy. It's ridiculous. And then you got to pay for that. You're paying them for some asshole to tell you what you can and can't do with the property you're buying. It's like, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a golf course, I can understand you're paying. Like, I think it's crap that if you don't play golf and you move into a golf community, you still have to pay basically to be there.
Hey, you can play golf whenever you want.
But it's like, that should be optional, because if I don't play golf,
no,
I don't know.
Dude, and that's why like these places are insane. Because like, you know, Carlton River, it's right before you get to the bridge going to Hilton Head. It's one of the really big subdivision back there. Really pretty place. But like the amount of money that these people are paying for lots alone. Some dude bought like one of the biggest lots I've seen out there. It was 5 acres. Okay. It was huge. It's a huge lot for a community. Don't get me wrong.
No, that's
it's got a little pond on it.
Yeah.
You even guess what he paid for that lot?
$3 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like $3 to $5 million just for the lot.
Crazy.
And then he put a main house on it. He put a detached garage on it. And then he put an office on it where the entire bottom of this office is a golf simulator.
Sure.
That's what he did. And he lives on a golf course.
Be interested to see if that actually helps his game at all.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, it's kind of insane. And I don't know where all these people are getting this insane amount of money from. But
I'd have to imagine a lot of it is stocks and stuff invested in things like Amazon and whatnot early on. But who knows?
The amount of money that's moved to Beaufort recently, man, it's insane.
Crazy.
I manage 230 something active construction sites right now. There's not a one that's cost less than about $500,000-$600,000.
I believe it.
Not a single house. And
it's wild, man. People are paying so much money for,
and some of these are legit
small places.
The stuff on Spring Island, though, I mean, there's in there. Like some of them, it's I can't wrap my head. Keeps me busy. I'll tell you that.
Job security.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, this episode was brought to you by blackboxcages.com. Check them out. Facebook, Instagram, blackboxcages.com. Use code THN at checkout. Save yourself a little bit of money. Fulviusapparel.com. Facebook, Instagram. Check it out. Some sort of deal around the 4th of July. Maybe for the whole month of July. A Happy Birthday America sale or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, it's going to exclude the Canadian market just because, like, maybe on Canada Day we'll do
Canada,
something.
You don't get the sale.
That's right.
That's hilarious.
You ain't listening to Metallica hammering Bush Light and driving around an old Ford. Like, get out of here with a pack of Marlboro Reds in your pocket, in one pocket, and a can of Skull in the other, with a mullet.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you don't have a mullet, you don't get the sale.
If you don't sleep wrapped up in American flag every night, then get out.
Oh my God.
So
also check out Steve Snakesuary. All the cool things he's got going on. Venom hot sauce. Get yourself some Venom hot sauce if you're in the Louisiana area. Check him out.
Red, white, and you, son.
That's right, boy. So sorry this episode kind of got derailed there towards the end.
Talking about old people stuff. I feel like this is something you only rant about when you start getting a certain age.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We're getting there.
Slowly turning. Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah.
We'll be back for Snakes and Stogies on Monday. We have a very, 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 very
you gotta tell us
high profile guest for Snakes and Stogies on Monday. I am very excited.
Who is it?
Not gonna say. But it's been in the works for a minute.
Nice.
I told Phil a while ago we need to get back in the habit of having some of those higher echelon professional people on the show.
We need to do that for a year too.
We do.
We get some,
And
but we need to keep it up.
this is Monday's going to be good. So if you're going to be around Monday 9 p.m. Eastern, check it out. I'll probably have the stream set up and stuff more ahead of time than I typically do, meaning before the like afternoon of. And then you'll find out. But expect a lot of coral snake talk.
Is it? It's not the guy we've already had on here, is it?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
I don't.
Oh, that's exactly who it is. Cool.
Maybe, maybe not. I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh, that I remember his name now. Yeah. Okay.
We'll see.
Cool. Nice.
Thanks for hanging with us.
Yeah.
It's kind of a last minute live
yeah.
decision. We were originally just going to do recorded, but
I think that should be the plan. Anytime we do the monthly one-on-ones,
One-on-ones.
that'll be our live episode. I like doing the lives now.
Mhm.
I think they're fun. I like the interaction.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody who tuned in, saw it last minute. Thank you everybody who has come seen me the last couple weeks, and thank you Skylar for hosting me and Preston last weekend. We had a great time. You are a G.
G for great.
Yeah, we did have a great time. I'm tired as shit, but we had a great time.
Been back like a week. I'm tired.
I've been working, dude. Literally, I got back Sunday night, spent all of Sunday evening setting up quarantine, 14 hours Monday, 14 hours Tuesday, 14 hours yesterday, 8 hours today. Come do the podcast till 10:30 at night. I'm tired.
On that note, good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.